Friends, welcome to this lecture on resource pooling. So resource pooling is the third characteristics of out of the five essential characteristics of cloud computing. The first was on-demand self-service. The second one which we had was broad network access, and this is the third one which is resource pooling. So let's get into the details that okay, what does it actually mean and how it will be beneficial for the cloud service providers as well for the cloud customers. So again, this definition, this explanation, we have taken it from the NIST. So as per which, what does it says is the providers is cloud service provider or a cloud vendor we are talking about. Providers computing resources are pooled to serve multiple consumers using a multi-tenant model with I'll come to this point later on with a different physical and virtual resources dynamically assigned and reassigned according to the consumer demand. So let's pay attention over here, which says that because in case of cloud vendors, there would be number of customers and they will be having different kind of demands. So in order to serve those kind of demands, the cloud providers, they should have a pool of number of resources, right? Number of resources in terms is to support multi consumers or multi customers. So in a way, the line which I have underlined, multi-tenant model is like in the same hardware or maybe let's say on the same server, they are having multiple VMs running and those VMs might be running for different customers. Let's say if a server is having 10 VMs, there could be a possibility that those 10 VMs are being used by the five different organizations. So they should be able to serve multiple customers using the multi-tenant environment with the different physical and virtual resources. And the consumer can assign and reassign the resources as per their need. So, and there's one other thing which we need to understand in case of resource pooling is there is a sense of location independence in that the customer generally has no control or knowledge over the exact location of the provided resources, but may be able to specify location at a higher level of abstraction, example, country, state, or data center. Let me give you an example. If you are from a security background, right, and trying to understand this cloud, so in that case, there might be a regulatory requirement or a compliance requirement which says that an organization should be aware about that okay where their data is lying means at a state or a country or at a higher level they should be knowing about that. So just to help that in case of resource pooling, since number of data centers in a particular region might be connected with each other, so customers should be able to get the idea that okay where I am placing my data. So in case of cloud vendors, they're having different regions like Singapore, North Virginia, Ireland, all those things are there. So let's say if my compliance requirement says that my data should not go out of India or out of, let's say, US, so I should be able to keep my data in that particular area only or in that particular state only. So customers should be able to get that particular information that okay from a country or from a state perspective where their data is lying. So again, this is again a different type of compliance requirement maybe depending on the organization or the business you are running. And again, on those business, there could be different compliance requirements like HIPAA is there, GXP is there, and then PCI DSS for payment card industries and HIPAA is for the medical. So depending on the different compliance requirement, this is applicable. So example of resources, what we are talking about is storage, processing, memory or network. So what does resource pooling actually means? So in simple sense means, let's say if you are looking for a cloud vendor, means this is let's say if this is a cloud vendor, AWS, Azure or Google, so they should be having a resource pooling or the integration of all these things in a such a way that they can have an unlimited number of resources within this pool so that any customer with a different need or with a huge demand, you should be able to serve those customers. So in that case, as an cloud vendor, you should have a pool of resources means, let's say if at any point of time I need 2 terabyte of RAM and I need it immediately or within next 1 hour, the cloud provider should be able to provide to the customers. They should not say that, okay, they don't have that particular capacity, right? So in that case, the kind of resource pooling, the integration of things and the available resources should be available at all the times within the cloud service providers to serve the customers. So just think from a cloud customer that, okay, whatever resources you need, depending on your need, they should have such a huge pool that you can pull out the chunk as per your requirement, and then once your requirement is finished, you can again put those things into that particular pool. So from a cloud perspective, again, we'll think from a both perspective: cloud customer, cloud service provider perspective, and cloud customer perspective. So let's say if you are a cloud customer and you are using this cloud service providers, in that case, there are a number of resources which are available to you, and those are provided by the cloud service provider. And you can choose those services to run your business. In that case, you're a happy customer, and again, your internal customers would be happy, and you're running your business pretty smoothly. Whenever there is a spike, you can get the resources and all those things. Similarly, for a cloud service provider, if you're able to satisfy and have a pool of such a huge number of resources, and you're able to satisfy the need of different organizations with the different business models and different type of business they are having, in that case, they are having more trust in you, and you'll be able to earn a good amount of money. So this is a win-win situation again for both the resources. So when we say that, okay, there are different resource pooling resources. So what resource actually we need, if you'll think from in that perspective, in case if I want to move on to the cloud, what resources I need? I need compute resources, right? I maybe require networks, number of NIC cards, or a particular level of bandwidth is required. Maybe a storage pool is required. I need a certain amount of hard disk drive to to save my data, or to apply logic onto the data. So depending on my need, the pool of resources, the tight integration should be there within the cloud provider to serve the customers in a better way. So this is about the resource pooling, which is the third essential characteristics which NIST says that you should look for while choosing the cloud customer. So now just think from that perspective, that how good baselines are being provided by the NIST to the customers when they are looking for when they are looking to provision the cloud services. So thank you friends, thank you for watching this lecture. Hope you have really enjoyed this lecture. Meet you in the next lecture. Thank you.